Hello, I think. Once again, I don't know. It's gone weird on me. I know that I'm a little weird, but I don't know why everything has to be weird with me. I just got a note telling me that I'm live on my channel. Yes, I'm aware. Um, okay. All right, just a minute. I forgot to turn on the lights again. Let's just make that go better. Okay. So many things today. Actually, I have enough stuff for today that we're doing part of it today and part of it tomorrow. So that's how much excitement I have. Okay, so yesterday was the last day of our. I forgot to Tracey here. Oh, let's make that go better. Okay. Have you heard the expression, the hurrier I go, the behinder I get? I had to wait for things to calm down because there's always, chaos ensues here. So I was a few minutes late starting, so then I was rushing, so then I hit the wrong button, so then I had to wait for that button to fix. And so now I'm just like, okay, I have to like, whoo, stop things. Hi, Tracey here, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, friendly neighborhood paper pusher, and it is 28th of January. And you're live with the paper pusher. So yeah, I did do my newsletter yesterday. It took a little bit. It was all, best intentions, right? The one week I was like, there's nothing new from last week's newsletter. I'll just send a little bulletin, but I'm not going to do a newsletter. Busy, totally forgot. The next week I'm like, okay, I really got to do the newsletter. Busier than never happened. So yesterday it was like, I don't know, 9 o'clock at night, I think. But I finally did get it done. So yeah, last couple of days of bonus days, you have till the 2nd. Most of the other stuff's in there that's key. That's the big one. If you want to get some coupons so you can buy more stuff in February. That's what I did. I have my pre-order here, which I'll show you in a minute. And I was like, oh, I want it all. And I thought, no, I got to save some stuff for February because I have to have enough things to buy in February. So that because I've got the product of the month so far, these great things. Just a minute, I'll show you because I think that was on the top of the pile. Oh, trying to do it without rascal. 1 minute. Rascal. Rascal. Quiet. No, out. Let's go. Go. Hi. Just wanted to make sure we muted that so I didn't deafen anybody. This is what we fight with every time. Rascal, I swear to God. Our new neighbors have little kids who are spending more time in the yard. For the most part, we have a lot bigger kids or just grown-ups around us. But these guys have littler kids who are spending time in the yard. Anywho, this is, why am I zoomed in so much? Oh, I think my arm is falling off. My arm is pulling down. I put an extender on it so I could move it, and I don't know if it's working. Here, let's spin it. Let me turn my head off so I'm not in the way. There we are. Now you can see the whole thing. So this is the January product of the month. Yeah, I'm super zoomed in on here. It is called Fabulous Sayings, and it is fabulous. So these are these are some great everyday sayings. You got some little mix and match with the 2 different fonts that you can do. So if you buy $100 in product, it entitles you to buy a product of the month for $5. So this beautiful stamp set, which this stamp set would normally cost like, I don't know, 26, 28 bucks. Got a lot of stamps in it. It might even be 30 or something. But yeah, you get it for $5 and so if you're buying stuff anyways, why not? And so December was paper, DSP, and then January is this. We don't know what they're going to be. We don't find out. Actually, we find out the day before because Australia gets theirs ahead of time. So I go snoop on the Australian site and see what they have as a product of the month. But normally we don't find out until the day it releases. So the February product of the month, 1, 2, 3. We'll find out on the 3rd of February. I had to look at my calendar and see what day it was. So we'll find out on the 3rd of February what the product of the month for February is. Now, right now, there is still some paper left that was the December product of the month. So if you spend $100, you could pick January stamp set or the December paper, one or the other, as long as you haven't bought either one before. If you spend $200, you can take both of them. You can have one of each. Now, I can only buy one of each. So like if you said, hey, Tracey, can you get me one of those stamp sets? No, I'm sorry, I cannot. Because I bought mine, one per person. So I can't. I can only get my own. You still earn like all the other good stuff, right? So Stampin' Rewards and the different deals and getting the coupons and stuff. A lot of that, it is actually like the best thing you can do is place your own orders. I'm happy to do them. I'm happy to do group orders on little group orders now. Really only kind of work for like small things. Like if you're not getting very much, and you're local and you just want to avoid the shipping kind of thing. That's really because if you're starting to order any kind of amount of stuff, you really are better off doing it yourself, getting the Stampin' Rewards all in one spot, then you can spend them later. There's so many. I believe me, I have like saving up Stampin' Rewards. I've got coupons for February because I bought a bunch of stuff now, so I get the coupons to use to buy stuff to get the whole system. But anyways, this is January's product of the month. I got to get moving. I got stuff to talk about. So anyways, yesterday. Yes, I think the thing just fell. It was better before. Oh, you know what? Aha! That's why. I was going to say it didn't change that much. I hit the button that zoomed us in. Okay, much better. Here we are. So last night was the last night of the 4 weeks of the Advent Calendar extras. So if you bought I don't actually know what I did with them. If you bought the Advent Calendar, and I'm just going to say this, I don't actually not actually know anything about what's coming, but at the next week on the 3rd of February, we're also 2 new kits are coming out, but it's also they update the last chance product list. And my personal feeling is there's still some Advent calendars left. I think next Tuesday, because they're in last chance already, but each time they do a refresh, like every second month, sometimes they'll take something that's already there and then just put it on sale. I think they want to move those out. They're big boxes. They want to move them out. I think they're going to be on sale. I do not know this as a fact. It is just a thought. But what they come with is this stamp set that you know about ahead of time. And then, spoiler alert, it comes with 2 sets of dies, paper, embellishments, twine, shaker stuff, die cuts. And there's so much stuff in there. I had so much fun with this set. And I'm still having fun with it. So I did a little class with it where we made 12 of the projects. So some of them were ones that Stampin' Up had designed, and I pretty much just looked at what they did and then copied them. Some I tweaked, and some are just my own things altogether. And so I have this PDF, which is like 25 pages long, that has the 12 main projects in it. And then I have a little guide for the DSP. Then I made a little guide on how to do the masking. Oh, there's a set of masks in there. Ooh, they're awesome. And then a mini Advent calendar PDF and card bag PDF. Plus, for each project, each of the 12 projects, I made at least one alternate. So there's like a ton of stuff. So you buy the PDF, it's $25. You get the PDF plus the extra ones. Plus you get access to the Facebook group, which has links to all the videos. Like the 4 weeks, there's a video on each one showing just kind of tips. It's not like start to finish, here's how you put this together, but it's tips, or this is how I did this, or this is what, and some information on the alternates. And then I've also posted pictures of all the alternates there. So you have links to the videos and the alternates to go with the PDF. So if anybody's interested in that, let me know. I will email you the deals. But as I was going, yeah, I had all these different things. So I'm just going to give you, I have so many big things. Okay. So by being in the Advent calendar class, I do also have one, it's over in the kit section, but I do have one box of left, one that is $60 that includes all the PDF stuff, but it also has the consumable parts you need to make the main 12 projects. Plus it comes with this cute little treat holder, because if you come to one of my classes, you get a table treat. So this was a little mini Advent calendar I made. These were the dates of the dog next door is going nuts. I just really hope mine does it. These were the dates of our get-togethers and stuff, and then a spare. So this is the little mini Advent calendar that there's a PDF for. Just gonna move it out of the way. So yeah, I have one of those kits left, and then PDFs I have as many as whoever wants them. But as I was doing things, like just different stuff came up. So one of the projects, I changed what the project was, but Stampin' Up! Originally had a bag. So I made a different version of the bag. And then when I was showing people how to put it together, I made yet another version of the bag. Oh, this is what we did last week with the tulips. This is what started all with this bag. Oh my God, I love this bag. So this is I told you there was an extra one for a card bag. That's what this is. You can easily fit 6 full-size cards and envelopes in these bags. I'm just going to move stuff out of my way here so I can get going. Okay, so I guess what I'll do as I go through, because it's not all in order, because some of the cards don't fit in my little storage system that I've got going here. Okay, so we're gonna have to do this quickly. So this was one of the projects. There's just 2 versions. One's just clipped closed and one's tied closed. So that's one of the products that's in the PDF. The PDF shows you how to make all 11. Just a minute. This is in my way and annoying me. I really should have put these in order. I have some of them in order. I just don't have the newest ones in order, I don't think. There we go. So this is, I got the measurements and stuff so you can, these mini cards, mini cards are just so much fun. So the PDF shows you all the different measurements to make those. That was project 11. I'm just moving stuff out of my way as I go. Okay, I'm going to try to get these in the right order. Whoops. So this is one of the projects in the PDF. That was Stampin' Up's version of the shaker card. Here's an alternate I made with no shaker. And then an alternate I made that's just a whole different theme. That's one of them. This is project 10. This is project 12. They're just different versions. There's this awesome ephemera or die cuts that come with it, and then these little embossed pieces. So that was those. Stampin' Up! Made a box that day. I made cards. So those are just totally different from my own. Just a minute here. I see they're in a box. So the first day, the first project that Stampin' Up! Had made. Just a minute. There's so many things in here. It's not even funny. And I just can't get it to go the way I want it to. Okay, so the first project was this box, and yes, you get a piece of ribbon, and you get all the stuff, and you get the pieces of the box as well. Move this over here, so you get the cardstock and the window sheet. Okay, so I'm sitting here. I have a box in front of me now, so I can do this, but now I can barely reach. Okay, so these are the note cards that are in there. Yes, these dies are part of the kit. So it makes 3 really cute note cards. And then I made, using some of the stuff in the kit, I made some alternates. Same layout, different products. Some of them are just slightly different altogether. That's just a slightly different version of the same one. So yeah, all these pictures of all the alternates would be in there. The PDF covers the ones that are actually in there. Oh, plus I made a full-size card. These little rainbows and these little colors, I absolutely love them. Rainbows are just happy. They're just happy. So this was Stampin' Up's card, which is very pretty. There's one of mine, and then kind of the same card with just some different color choices. But this is the one that's in the PDF. And I have to keep things going. Stampin' Up! For their next project, they made a 8.5 by 11 scrapbook page with these little shaker windows in it. I turned it into cards instead. These are 5 by 5 cards, and I happen to have the envelopes for them, so that works. So some shaker cards. So you have the instructions. The PDF covers how to make this one, but then here's also just a non-shakery version of a regular size card. And then this one was a Stampin' Up! Version as well. And then there's just a couple alternates I made. That one. I'm just trying to make sure you know which one's in the PDF, and the other ones you just have pictures of. But if there's something significant I did in the alternate, I talk about it in the video. And then that's Stampin' Up's version of the next card. There's an alternate that I made. I just made it a full-size card for those that wanted to. Stampin' Up's made this cute little slimline. These little puffy stickers are freaking adorable. And then I made a version that was these ephemera come in the calendar as well, but you could easily replicate this card with just die cuts or stamping. So that was in there. My stuff is all sliding. So one of the days, Stampin' Up's project was actually a little mini album, but they use a ton of product in their mini album. They have like endless resources, right? So I just made a version of a little notebook that is similar to their mini album, just to show you what you can do with the stuff. And if you buy the kit with the consumables, I threw in some of these rings. And then there's just another card. There's some memory with some more cards that come in the calendar. So this was just showing a way you could use it. And then also, I'm just trying to figure out, oh, you know what? I'm like, where these go with the treat holder? I made the treat holder for this day instead, using a similar kind of deal, I think. Okay, so I gotta move these things because I'm about to drop this box on the floor, and that's not gonna help me any. Okay, so then one of the products we made, I can't remember for the life of me what Stampin' Up did on this particular one, but could be a gift card or just a little note. But this is the magic gift card holder. So the PDF shows you how to make one of those. And then there's a version of the card, should you prefer. And then this is, I don't actually remember. I think this might be Stampin' Up's version of that card. And it's just using the memories and more cards and some of the die cuts and different. And these are the ephemera and the memories and more cards. And then these are the ones from last week that I showed you. That were just some of the background. And these started based on doing the other ones, which I think I might have showed last week, but these ones, which were versions of with this like triple, that's actually the one that was based on this box, this box is similar to the bag that Stampin' Up made. It was a whole roundabout journey. So that's what's all involved. So if you want the PDF that has 12 projects, plus you can see pictures and descriptions and discussions about all these other cards, plus a couple bonus PDFs to make treat holders or card holders, message me and I will send you the link to get that. Okay. All right. So yes, fluke by fluke, I tell you, because I was really afraid. I really wasn't. 3 o'clock is not a good time to do a live, and I may have to rethink that because it's right when the kids get out from school, and so they're walking home. So as you know, dog goes nuts. But between 3 and 4 is also when I usually get deliveries. So, but the Stampin' Up guy, the UPS guy came early today. He came around lunchtime. So I already have my pre-order, which includes the Stampin' Positioner. So tomorrow on Thursday nights, the last Thursday of the month, is Craft and Chat. And we just join by Zoom and we talk, craft, talk, chat, do whatever. If you have questions, you need help with your project, whatever. For tomorrow night, because I have all these things to show, I'm going to talk about the Stampin' Positioner because this one's pretty cool. And I've watched a couple of videos already. Some of the people got it early. And if you like the Stamparatus or didn't have a chance to get it, and it's been gone a couple of years, this is fun. And there's so many techniques, but there's deals. If you're a current demonstrator, when can you get it? If you want to get it for free in your starter kit, then there's a join promotion from the 3rd of February to the, I want to say 2nd of March. And then maybe somewhere down the road, it'll be available for everybody. So there's lots of reasons to pay attention and get this in the next week. Whether you get it early or later, get it soon. Oh, cute. I just saw something that looked like it was muted, and I thought I just realized I was doing this far. So here's one of the best parts about the new shipping, and I'm not going to show you all of these individually. This we're going to do tomorrow, but this is my pre-order. So 4 bundles, 2 embossing. I didn't buy everything because I told you I have to save some for February, but I've got 4 bundles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4 bundles. I was going to say a separate stamp set, but that was the product of the month. Couple bundles, some new embellishments. This is the paper that comes for the Duma Flicky. But yeah, it's just this tiny little pile of stuff. It's not this big, huge thing and things sliding all over the place. Oh my goodness, it's so nice. Okay, we're halfway. I gotta start showing you some other things. So one of the things that just came out in the new catalog is these treat bags. And these treat bags are one heck of a deal because you get 16 of them. I had to turn over because I've started, when I remember, I'll write the price. So this is in Canada, if anybody's watching from somewhere else. So these are $15. You get 16 of them. 16 in one bag is a lot. Treat holders rarely have that many in one bag, but that's awesome. 16 of them. And they're big. They're a good size. I don't want to, well, I guess I got to stick my hand in. So I don't want to stick my hand in, but I've already stuck my hand in this one. So I'll just stick my hand in this one because they are food safe. And if you're going to put food in them, how many times do you want my hand in there? But so they have this gusset on the side that has the real red on it, which is just awesome. So you could put a lot of stuff in this. Now, if you are buying somebody some really expensive chocolates, this is a very large bag, and you probably do not want to fill it with very expensive chocolates because it might get costly. But if you make homemade treats or cookies or cake pops, or you want to put like pencils or something long that you give out as treats, then this is nice to have this as a size. Popcorn, I was going to say cheesies, but somehow I feel like I want my snacks to match. So I'm trying to think of, is there a red? I feel a little worried, I guess, if there was a red one, but I didn't close. Here's a lesson for today. I didn't close my bag before I did this. And now I think this is too high because I was doing it with the bag open, but I do want to do it too low because I wanted to be able to, like, for it to be sitting on kind of like the bulk of it. So, hey, lesson 1 for today. And I have these little, this suite actually comes with this awesome set. I know I've shown you this before because my little logo there happens to be in this set of things, which is awesome. And then these cute little hearts that I've used on all sorts of things. So that's the embellishments that actually come with this suite. But I took these, which are from, there was a tree bundle that came out at Christmas that had like the little plastic dome so you can make like shaker trees with these little stars on them. I just used them instead because I wanted to put gold on it. But I glued them right to the bag. So as much as I can probably pick this up and move it, I can't move those so easily. So there's a thing to pay attention to. Make sure when you're doing this that you don't put your stuff too high. But anyways, yes, you can fill this up, and then when it's full, the red shines through. Right? Now, I will tell you that I bought the paper that goes with this. I made a series of cards using this paper. I love this paper. Oh my God, do I love this paper. Oh, look at that. Conveniently enough. So this is the box I made with using the paper. So these are the cards. We did a little one sheet wonder with it. That one on there. So they're sideways, but they'll fit better. So this is like the papers and the colors, and oh, it's happy, fun. Just love this paper. So I got the paper, I got the bags, I got the embellishments. There is I'm pretty sure it's 1/8 of an inch bubble bath ribbon that comes with this suite. I just didn't buy the ribbon. And then there's a stamp set and dies. And I did not buy the stamp set and dies because I have lots of heart-shaped dies already, and that I quite like. And there's a couple things I'm very particular. So 2 of the biggest like hearts in the die set are either stitched or have like the little lace edges and I prefer the solid ones. It was really that simple. So I'd rather keep the dies I already have than replace them with new ones. So if you're looking at this, yes, I have this thing that's on my shelf, hearts, and these are just leftover things from various things. Plus I have dies that I can get new ones. Like this one is from one of the sets. And I just love the shape of this like long skinny die, right? So anyway, so I am using retired stuff to make my hearts, but you get the idea. If you don't have any heart dies, then you can order this bundle. This is from the, I think, Nested Essentials. Love this as just like a background to layer things on. And then this one is from one of the 2 B sets. And I'm just going to cheat and look. Oh, look at that. So there was 2 of them. So the Be My Valentine is still current. So this was the first of the B sets. This is Be My Valentine. I think the second one that came out was called Cute as a Bee or something like that. Cute as can be. I don't know. But anyways, this one has this great Happy Valentine's Day sentiment in it. This is the one that goes with the punch. The other one is the one that had the dies. So that's where I got that Happy Valentine's, and it's just 2 squares. And I just put them at a jaunty angle because 1, it's fun, and 2, the word Valentine's is long and it didn't fit the other way. So this was the idea, right? You can make this little bag, decorate it how you want, pop it in there. So, and one of the things I did think as I was doing this, I'm like, I love these bags with the little hearts on them, but what if what you wanted to put in them was smaller, or what if you don't want this like twisty tie thing? You just want to have like an open bag that you can have things popping out of. So last week, I'm pretty sure it was last week, I happened to see Sarah. Oh, sorry, just a minute. I forgot to tell you. In the November online exclusives is when these doilies came out. So there is 2 different size doilies. Oh, I'm using the wrong scissors, but I'll trying to be efficient. So these came out in the November online exclusives, and they are still current. And you get 24 of them for $11. So like 50 cents each, if my math is correct. So you get, there's 2 different sizes, and then 2 different colors, and they're printed on. So one is a pale pink. Pretty sure it's pretty in pink, and then the one is red. So the red one has like little pink details on it, and then the white one has pink. I don't know that this is solid white. It's hard to tell with the stuff on it, but I think this is like a very light pink. Or maybe it's just because of the pink. I don't know. But anyways, they're light. And then the back side of both of them is just plain white. And that's important in a second. So that's what I put on in the background of this. Right? It's just, I just laid it flat. So lo and behold, I'm having all these thoughts of things to do with this. And last week, Sarah, who goes on, the CEO of Stampin Up, who goes on once a week and does little projects, is on there. Nope, it wasn't Sarah. No, actually, now that I think of it, there was 2 different videos. So Sarah showed a cool trick to using these doilies, which I will show you. But now that I think of it, I think it was Cindy and Sydney, which, try saying that fast. Sydney and Cindy, I said it the other way around, who showed cutting down the bag. And I was like, well, that's exactly what you have to do. So I was sort of in the middle of doing a bunch of other stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to copy them. I'm going to play along with them for now. Just take a breather. So I should have paid attention because I was doing many, many things at the time. And I was going to show you how to do this. I'm going to do mine slightly differently, but and so I cut it. So they show you how you can take the bag, and I'll show you in a minute, and cut it. And then you can make it smaller, and you can just like cut this little top thing off the top, right? And then you have a different bag, and I'll show you how to do it. So they show you how to score it, which I'll show you in a minute. And so I did it the first time though, and I had scored the line here to make the bottom. So imagine this is the bottom of the bag, right? So this is going to be folded under. Do you notice anything about the pater? The pattern on the paper, that's the pater. Yeah. So perhaps if you're doing this, maybe just pay attention to which direction the hearts go. So as it turns out, I just rescored this piece because all I have is this little line around the top where I made the mistake. And I'm just going to put something in front of that. Nobody's ever going to be the wiser. And then you can have this like open bag, right? But then I have this little piece left, and I thought, well, can I do something with this? And for the most part, no, because it's very small. But the one thing you can do, let me just take my little cheater out here, and I was playing with this, so it's a little bit wrinkled, but that's fine, is just, there's a lot of layers there. I'm just going to trim off my little twist tie thingy, and that's going to leave me with this, which I could use as a belly band. I mean, it's going to blend in here, but I could also just use this. I folded this, so if you're going to use this piece, don't put a fold right in the middle of it. But I could use this as an element on a card. I could use it like a piece of DSP. I could cut the back open, like just cut down the middle and use it as a belly band on a box or something. So I think you could, if this is the size you want, you could make use of this as well. But my thought was, well, couldn't I just cut them in half or cut them in like a little bit smaller? So I have, because this is still a pretty good size bag, right? Like this, if you're putting stuff in here, you're putting a bunch of stuff in here. So I'm going to cut this bag a little bit smaller, and I haven't even actually figured it out. How long is this? This is 9 3/4. So I just want to make 2 little bags, and then I'll make it the one that's on the top. You'll be able to turn this over See, they have it made so you roll it twice, which is good. Because if you roll it twice and then fold this back, it keeps everything inside of it nice and fresh, so it doesn't get all like stale. So I need to have the bottom of this with like a bottom flap. And then I need this bag, and I need this to also have a bottom flap. So these are going to be, I'm going to make two much shorter bags. They are 1.25 inches deep though. So like you're still going to get a bunch of stuff in them, even though they're shorter. But if you don't want your bag to be this big and you still want to use these bags, like I said, you could just cut the tops off and not worry about them, or you could turn them into two different bags. So what I'm going to do, I folded this over just so I won't screw up like I did the last time. And knowing that this is what's left. So now what I have left is not quite 8 inches. So I want to go about 4 inches. I think I want this one to be, yeah, I'm going to go about 4 inches. So I'm going to cut it because I want, this bag is going to be, this bag is going to be an open bag, and this bag is going to have the bottom. So I want this nice row of hearts right here to, I'm going to hold my finger there so I don't forget where I was. I want them, actually I need the scores. So I'm just going to get this out. I want them to be right along. Oh, see, by fluke, I did that on this one. See the top of this bag? It's got the nice row of hearts. I don't want the top of the bag to be white. I want it to be this nice row of hearts. So that is where I'm going to decide to cut the bag off. And honestly, you can make it whatever size you want, so it doesn't really matter, but that's just what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to go back and forth a couple times. Actually, I could tell it released after the second one. Because I'm going through a couple different layers. Okay, so now that I've done that, I have to open this because it'll make my life a lot easier. And I'm going to open this up, and I'm just going to like turn the gusset the opposite way. So that, there we go, so that my bag is somewhat flat. Now, when you're making a box, you want the bottom, like you want the sides and the bottom to be the same. So this is 1.25 inches, if memory serves me. Yes, it's about 1.25 inches. So I want to go in here, and I want to score 1.25 inches from the bottom. Now this is going to give me a bag about this big, which I think for what I'm doing is fine. For this one, I'm going to cheat it a little bit because I'm going to show you how you can make the most. And I'm going to do this again a couple times just to make sure that we get all the way through all those layers. Yes, we did. So this one, you got a couple options. Because so right now what we have is an envelope, right? Because it doesn't have a flat bottom on it. So you could use this. You could put, why do I have absolutely nothing nearby, do I? You could put some like tea bags and cookies or flat chocolates or little, I just had the 3x3 cards is what I was looking for. And I just thought, where'd I put them? But I put them on the floor, or put like a little note card, or put whatever. So you could just do it like that. Actually, maybe I will do that. Because if not, we could just do the bottom the same way, but I'll show you on the other one. This one I think I will, now that I said that, I'm gonna actually just leave it like this and show you how you can just make an envelope out of it. Okay, I'm gonna do that instead. Okay, so going back to the original one, I'm gonna decorate that one up like that. Okay, so we want to finish making this into a box. So if you take your scissors, here's my score line, right? And I'm just gonna cut, and I'm gonna, this is all going to be kind of buried, like when I flap all this stuff over, but ultimately this is going to be what you see at the front. So I'm kind of making this as my main thing, because normally I'm cutting the score line off, right? So I'm keeping this one nice and flat, and this one I'm just going to do a little bit of a wedge in here, so I get the little bit of score and bend so that I'll just fold nicer. And I'm going to do that on all. All of a sudden I just had an itch that needed to be addressed. So if you do this way, it's a lot easier to remember which direction you're doing if you leave the top on. Because obviously that's the top, and so the chances of you scoring there are pretty slim. But like I said, the other one is gonna, my phone keeps flashing. What's going on? Some days, though, honestly, I want to sit in my craft room and not know what's going on in the world. So I'm just going to ignore it for now. It's not anything major. So I'm just cutting down the seams and then cutting that out. Now, I was going to say, I think I cut that crooked, and I did. Just a little. And you can trim this afterwards when you do the rough fit. If you want to trim anything to make it just a little cleaner, that's what you do. So for now, I'm just going to fold over my pieces. I'm folding them all in because that's ultimately where they're going. Now, because this is already gusseted, you're going to be able to like re-pinch and re-gusset the thing again. But for now, we're just trying to keep it as a box. So this is the front of the bag. As you know from before, I like the front of the bag to be as clean as possible. So the flap that's on the front is the last one that I put on. So I do this so I can keep track of what I'm doing. The second I flip this over, well, this one has a seam on the back, but the second I flip it over, I tend to forget which way's up. So I'm going to use glue today just because it'll be easier. This paper is not very solid. Like it's DSP. It's not like I'm using cardboard or cardstock. So I'm going to try not to be as rough as I usually am with things. Actually, what I told you was dry fit it. So you can do this. So I see when I do this, that the red is, my little red sides are starting to pop out. So I have the option of doing this. And then it's not quite as obvious. Now, the other thing you could do is if you're trying to get the most out of this bag, you definitely want this to be 1.5. And I'm going to get this cardstock. And you can do this for one of two reasons. I just forgot. I was going to put this on the inside. That's what I got to cut. This is if you're depending what you're putting in here. So if you were going to put like a little bottle of Bailey's and some cookies and a thing of coffee or whatever, like a little warm night, you know. Oh, look at that. And how long is it? Just a tad too long. You could put this in the bottom. I'll show you in a second where I was originally going to put it. So this is about 4 by 1.25. So you can pop it on the inside of the bag. Like once your bag's all put together, you can pop it on the inside and it just gives you a little bit more strength at the bottom of your bag. So something like, you know, a bottle of Bailey's or a bottle of perfume, or I'm trying to think of things that are like heavier. Something glass is what I was trying to think of. It's not coming to me right now. Anyways, it just makes the bottom of your bag a little stronger, gives it a little. Ooh. Well, you can also put the piece of cardstock on the bottom of the bag, and it's just kind of, you know the fancy shoes, the black shiny high heel shoes, and when you look at the sole of them, they're red. Is that Louis Vuitton or Louis whatever? You can tell I'm not a fashion person, but so that's kind of the same idea. So having the bottom of the bag red is also not the end of the world, right? It's kind of a cute little, oh, look, surprise, especially in this bag where the sides are already red. So it kind of carries things down and around. So if you really wanted to, and you wanted to get the most out of your bags before you score, instead of doing like following the rules like you're supposed to and doing 1.25 inches, you could probably get away with making each of these. I'm trying to look. If you made them 1 inch, so if you made them each 1/4 inch shorter, they would still overlap in the middle. And then you could just put this on the bottom and you wouldn't even know that you shorted the bottom of the bag. So you could get a little bit taller bag if you needed to. But in this case, the bag is the right size. And instead of, I could also do this and just trim, because I don't like the flaps to be in the bag. That's what I mentioned this before. Because if you put them in the bag, then when you put stuff in, if it's like a snug fit, you tend to catch them. So I really don't like to have them in, but we're doing that anyways. I could leave them like this, and it just means I would have to trim them down. But because I'm seeing it here, I don't like it. So I'm going to go like this. So what I'm going to do then, I got the front of my bag in my fingers after all those stories. And I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on here and a little bit on here so that at least if they're inside the bag, they're at least contained. So when you do this, and this is your first one, you want to try as much as possible to make sure your bag is square. So that one flap is not glued yet, but I'm gonna pretend it is and do this just because this bag's a little floppy with the gussets on the side. It's a little floppy and I want it to stay where it is. So I'm going to do this and I'm going to tuck those down. And then I'll go back and I will put glue on this flap. I don't put a lot, like I put a thin bead and then I just try to get close to the edge and a little bit in the middle just for the more, like every bit that's glued is the glue that gives it a bit of structure. Now we're going to fold that out. So depending on the thing, like sometimes you can just rub the bag, rub the bag back and forth on the table and it'll do it. But I like to use my bone folder. So like I said, I can take this, put a little glue on it just so it's not constantly falling out. And if you're doing this, then it really doesn't matter about the tabs because you're about to cover the tabs. But I'm going to do this. Pop it down. And I guess you have to be careful that you don't end up sticking it to the side of the bag. But I find, so I put the thing in like this and angled it into the corner. And I cut it just a bit shorter than the width of the bag so it's not getting stuck. And it will just sort of, I don't know, it drops into place. I've never had an issue with it, but I realize as I'm doing it. So now, see my little reinforced bottom because I have a reinforced bottom. So now I can push my little gussets back in and roll my little bag over. And now, instead of having, where'd my other one go? This bag, I have a little one. And I'm going to make this one into an envelope. I'm going to decorate that one in a minute. Just a second. Now, the one thing I did not look at ahead of time, which is good because I'm going to use it on the envelope anyways, but is if you're going to do this, that like if you want to put this on the front of the bag, make sure that even after it's rolled, that you have room for this. Now, I rolled this down forward. I don't actually know if there is a rule. So I could roll this and roll it back. Right, so now this is in the back, and I'm pushing my little zip tie strippy things, whatever those things are called, twist tie thingies. I'm pushing that forward. So now I've got a cleaner front, but this size bag does not fit. Well, the doily doesn't really fit. Now, does the doily fit on here, which is where I was going to use it? Oh, look at that. It does. I'm going to show you something with this doily though. If I wanted a bigger bag though, this doily fits. I know I'm showing you white on white, but like this bigger bag, this doily has like room to spare. Just a minute. I have to really quickly show you this because I wanted to show you the other, before I do the decorating, I wanted to show you the other idea I had. And sometimes, you know, the expression necessity is the mother of invention, right? I was rushing and I made my bag crooked. I can trim that later. So this is the bag that I wasn't paying attention and put the score line on the thing so the hearts were upside down. So then I thought, well, I got to find a way to fix that. I got wet glue there. I really should deal with the wet glue before I worry about trimming. I put it in a little crooked. It's almost like I did it on purpose because now I can show you. I'm going to put the thing at the bottom of this one. I'll show you what that looks like. So I was rushing and I ended up with like a little flap that is, why do I keep ending up off screen? I really have to lean forward now. So I ended up with the little flap that was a bit crooked. So I'm just cutting there. This one's not too bad, but I'm going to trim. So I find if you hold your scissors perpendicular and like level to the side that you're cutting, so like this, right? So don't angle them and don't try to, because that's when you end up gouging and cutting stuff you don't want. Like, as I'm trimming this off, I'm trying to get this go the right direction. I'm trying to keep my scissors as parallel as I can to the bag while being like going the opposite direction. I said perpendicular, I meant parallel. So that all you do is cut the part that's hanging off that you don't actually cut the bag. So I'm going to do that. And then because I said I would, I'll show you what it looks like with the red cardboard on the bottom. Anyways, this is the bag that I accidentally cut or accidentally scored upside down. So I want to make that that little score line as invisible as possible. It's not super obvious, and like I said, I know it's there because I screwed up and put it there. If I didn't know it was there, probably wouldn't even notice. But the thing that occurred to me is, and we have, this is still current. This is from a while ago. And you could use ribbon, but I'm a twine person. I like twine. This piece is falling on the floor. This piece is about 20 inches long. If I was making a bunch of these, this is how I would do it. I would cut the first one, guessing that is about right, and then adjust accordingly. But 20 is probably a pretty good guess. So I can squish my little gussets back together again. But what I thought of is the other way you can close this bag, because once you cut the little thingies off the top, if you want to close it, I mean, you could have it open the same way I'm going to show you with the other one, where the it's kind of like an envelope instead. But you could just go like this. And keep pulling towards myself. I have to do some camera adjustments here. There we go. And you could just close it up that way. Now, if you wanted to, you could fold it over. Like you could put another score line there and fold it over. But even just having it close a bit like this, so that it's like stuff's not going to easily fall out. Now, I would suggest, if this is how you wanted to close it, you could make your score line closer to the top. Mine is just making the most of the score line that I accidentally put where I didn't want to. And then when you put your decorations, it could just be underneath. So to decorate, again, I have little hearts and stuff cut out already. Some of them are the right color, some of them are not. So let's just see how this goes. Because this is cut out the way it is, I actually, I could have done this, and I'm going to do it like this just so it looks like it. I could have put this underneath so that the strings come out the middle of it because it's hollow. I like the staggered look, right? I like to have some layers. I like to put in some different colors. I was cutting hearts, these hearts. And these hearts were a bit of a pain in the butt. The die that was for these ones, it's very intricate. It's got like a stitched pattern all over the heart. Right? And so to get this to pop out easily, it just looks like a red heart. I got to get the right angle to make it. You can see stitching all over that heart, right? So to make it pop out of the dies easier, you can put a piece of parchment paper between the die, right? So every one of these hearts I cut out for the project, I ended up with this parchment thing, and I just couldn't throw it away because it was so pretty. So it's not vellum or anything fancy. It's parchment from the kitchen. It just happened to work. So yeah, I like to layer, and if I can, see, I just realized what I did there. I try not to put the same hearts. So because that heart had the stitching, this one doesn't, right? And then this one has different stitching. So a nice little, it's kind of a grouping of three. And then you want to add a little gold. You could always just put a little gold banner. I have this, oh, look at this adorable little heart. Anyways, you could do all sorts of things. And then I just put a little flower on here if I want to. Right. So these are, it's so easy. I don't have any sentiments in front of me, or I just pop one of those on. So it's really easy just to throw a bunch of die cuts on the front. Whichever die set you have. That looks super dark. We're going to pull that one off. I normally, I would have like a little, there'd be a little happy Valentine's here. Which one I can find it, I will. I don't think, I have a thing for sentiments, but I'm not sure that I have Valentine's one in it. So we'll just go with that one for now. But the last thing I'm going to show you, and I got 5 minutes left before we run out of time, is these doilies. So like I said, they come in two colors. One is red with kind of pink designs on it, and the other one is, I guess, white with pink. So when I first saw these, and these came out in November at the same time, no, we got to order these early before we had fully seen the release that was coming. Like, I think it was a little bit later that we saw the release that started the 7th of January. But I thought, okay, this is just like part of what's going to go with the Valentine suite. So when I first saw them, I thought, oh, cool, those, you could use those to decorate the bag. The one problem I saw with that was putting the white doily, even though it's got pink on it, putting the white doily on the white bag. Not super obvious. So it does work for some things. Like if you did this, it's kind of it's like putting vellum behind it. So like you could put white on white and put some stuff in front, and it just kind of softens the busyness of the hearts. But here's the other thing you can do. You can flip it over, because now it's truly white, which you could also use it that way if you wanted to. Or because we do make cards, and you could make cards with this. Just a minute here. I'm just trying to grab one. Ooh, there we go. This is real red, so I'll just grab a real red card. Why does it matter? I don't know. But if you wanted to put on here, or I had a white card bait. There we go. I set my stamp positioner on it. Oh, you probably could use your stamp positioner for this. So you could use it like this, right? Just as a card. But I forgot to get something. Bing. Just, yeah, put it on, decorate up in front, and it's just kind of a nice cool background, right? Even better if you make square cards. Like, wouldn't that be pretty with a square card? Nice. Or you can do one of two things. And the one of two things that you're going to do, I'm going to show you both of them at the same time. So you could just using your blending brush, you could just ink on the back of this and change the color of this and make it whatever color you wanted. Now, if you've ever done that before, like any kind of a die cut or stencil, and you've brushed over top of it, you'll notice that in all the voids, you end up with something. So the other thing you can do, and I'm going to put this down at the bottom of this card here just a minute, is you can use the doily as the stencil to get a cool pattern on your card. So I'm going to color the doily and make a pattern on my card at the same time. Now, normally you do one or the other, but in the interest of time, I'm going to see if I can get away with doing both at the same time. So I just have my ink pad, and I think I've mentioned this before, and I can't quite show you. Maybe I can show you. I don't. If I do this, I may never. If I do this, I'll never get the camera back in the right spot. So this is my ink pad, and this little bit right here, this little 90-degree angle, I butt that up against the side of my glass mat, because my glass mat is just a little bit off the table. So when I'm using my brush and I'm doing this, I'm kind of pulling towards me and doing like little circles, but the glass mat is kind of keeping it exactly where I want. Now, the dangerous part of doing this is usually when you use your blending brush, the first time you drop, you get like whack, and it's super loud. So I know that over top of this pattern I'm making in the middle of this card, actually it's a little low. I kind of want it a third of the way. I'm going to go like this. This pattern that I'm making on this card, I'm going to put some hearts in the middle. So I'm just going to live on the edge because this doesn't matter to me. And I'm just going to go like this and just start going because I know if there's a bad spot, I'll just cover it up with one of the die cuts that I fully intend on putting in here. Now I could do the whole thing, but what I wanted was just a little bit of a pattern. If I wanted to do, now that I've moved it, I'm never going to get it back, and I kind of got the ombre that I wanted. I could have gone a little farther, but that's okay. But so it is a bit darker in the middle, and then it kind of fades out. And I'm going to put some stuff. I just wanted this to be like, instead of background stamping or embossing, blending brush. Now you could blend it like, and I still could, honestly. You could go over the whole area and make it a big thing. And I might actually, because the edges aren't as distinct as I wanted. I did at the last minute when it moved, I did kind of get a blur here, but that's okay because the sentiment was going down here anyways. So I could do that. And then because I've put this on without re-inking my brush, so it's not very dark, I can kind of go over top of the whole thing and get a bit more of the pink edge that I wanted. Da, da, da. And then I'm just going to throw this in the middle. I'm just going to throw down some hearts so you get the idea. I need my pink one. Now this is a real red. It's just because I've stamped it so like that's how it's coming off. So what I really need is a sentiment. It would look so much better with the sentiment on it. But anyway, so I'm just going to throw whatever I want on top of it, right? So that's one way you can use it. Use your doily as the stencil. Now, I'm not going to cover that whole thing. I mean, I could just do these are 3 of the same ones. There we go. We'll do it like that so I can see more. So I could just do like this and then just put a sentiment. And actually, because this isn't super dark, I could stamp right on it. Right. But it gives me kind of a cool background to work with my stencil. And then, because I actually want to use this one as something else, I can go back in and just over top of, and this one I actually want to be quite dark. I didn't want the thing to be that dark, but I want this to be darker. I can go back in and just go on top of it. And you can do this as much as you need till you get the color you want. And if you are going to put something in the middle of this, then that's where you start, because that's if you get a big dark ink spot like I did there. I tend to forget, but I know the rules. I just don't always use them. So if I start in the middle and work my way out, then the part that's darkest is the part I know I'm going to cover. If you know the middle is going to be left open and you're going to have stuff on the side, then start on the side and work in. Or work off and then start in, like just however you want to brush. But I basically just wanted to turn this side red. Now, I'm doing this for one of 2 reasons. One, if I use the doily as a template, well, this is a good way to get some use out of it, right? And you don't have to cover the whole thing. I just did. And it looks more covered in person than it does on there. On there, it looks fairly blotchy, like on the camera, but it is actually more covered than it looks. But it's also because half your package is white and half of your package is red. And if you need all of them to be red, then just color them red. I just wanted something that would be darker on here. So this is not as dark as that one, but it's almost. I'm going to put this off to the side because I don't have time to get a wet wipe out. Okay, now where's my last thing? The last thing I'm going to show you is a little secret that Sarah showed on when she did her when she was decorating. So these are all, so far, are all just like laying flat on the bag. But if you would like to turn one of these, and actually, you know what? She did it with the little one, but I'm going to do it with the big one just to see what happens. Just to see how big I can, or how small I can get it. You'll see in a minute. So take the scoring blade. Actually, if you want, you take the scoring blade and you just take it out all together, because then you won't accidentally cut your doily in half. So all she did was lined it up so that in between each one of these scallops, and kind of going through the center, and you just score. Now, be nice, because this is a delicate doily. It's not, I mean, the paper is strong enough, but because it has all these holes in it, you're taking away some of the strength. Every hole you cut, you take away the strength. So it just makes it a bit more delicate. So we're just going to go the whole way around. You know, I saw this, what was it, 2 weeks ago, and I am pretty sure I do this last step. Now that I realize, oh, maybe I don't. Try it without. All of a sudden, I had this moment of, do I actually know what I'm doing? So again, I'm just going in between the scallop lines, and I'm going the whole way across. I'm done. If this is painful to watch, it's okay because I'm almost done. Okay, so now I've scored in between all of the scallop lines. Ooh, that was very fast up there, right? So you can see all my score lines. I've just scored across. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up, down. This is why I can't remember if I have to cut one thing. Yes, except we're about to find out. I think I have to cut, but I don't actually remember that I have to cut. Once you get going, there we are. And then I just realized, I'm looking here thinking, oh, maybe somebody who's watching can tell me, but then I just realized I've had the thing over top of my comments the whole time. So if anybody watched Sarah do this and actually remembers the answer. So we're going up with one and then down with the other, and you'll see it's folding quite easily. Up, down. So one, it will give you texture. Just a minute. The whole up down thing, up down, I somehow cannot concentrate and do that if I am talking. Down, up, down, up, down. We're almost all the way around. Yeah, I think I am correct about the last step. I'm not sure which genius at Stampin' Up came with this idea, but in the end, it is very cute. Okay. So even if I just wanted to use this like this, well, depending what I was making, if I was making like a fun flower treat, just by scoring it, it gives you like this much dimension. Look at that. That's adorable. If I had like a little Ferrero Rocher or something to put in the middle, so cute. But I want this to, yeah, I'm pretty sure I have to cut this. I should have really rewatched the video. Because I need to be able to make it squish in. And I have all this stuff in the middle. You know why? I have to cut the middle out. I was thinking I have to cut down the side. I do not have to cut down the side. I have to cut the middle out. Just trying to remember how she cut it out. You're not going to notice the middle. I'm going rogue here. I'm cutting around because I kind of want the middle part to be usable. So I'm cutting around the smallest row of circles, or of hearts, I mean, and I'm going from dot to dot. Yeah, seriously, I should have rewatched the video. What am I thinking? I can remember something from a week ago. It was so cute, though. I just didn't have time to play with it ahead of time. Okay, so I'm going circle to circle. I might be able to fix this later with my punch and still make it usable. But... And I'm also going to tell you that it's very possible, because this is kind of mangled up now. And the very inside part of this actually was the trickiest part to fold. Like the outside folded super easy. The middle part didn't. So here's my thought. I bet you this step of cutting the circle out of the middle actually comes before you try to fold everything, because it would have been a lot easier to fold without that in the middle. So now when I do my little up and down folding, dog's having a nightmare, I think. I gotta get this thing. You can squish it in. Now it's folding better. I can make this work. I'm obviously missing something. She didn't make it look this hard as I'm making it look. There we go. She also did it on the smaller one, so maybe that's the difference, because these are some big scallops here. But I thought it'd be easier on the big one. There we go. So you can make it into a rosette. And then it's just a matter of how much do you like squish it in and how much do you leave it out. Yeah, hers worked way better on the small one. I think the big one maybe is too big. But you get the gist, right? So once you've done that, you just need to take any circle, and I would suggest I just happen to know where I have more die cuts than the other ones. Take a circle, a piece of cardstock. I would suggest using the same color cardstock unless you purposely want it to show through, and just use this, and you can push it in so it's like super tight. All the centers are together, and it kind of looks like a flower. Or you could leave it, like stretch it out a little bit. It doesn't have to go all the way in, but it just gives you that rosette look. And then using like some kind of a backstop, and I'm just gonna, because I do not want glue everywhere, I'm just gonna put glue on the spines. So on the ones that are bent, the ones that are folded, where the score lines are, where the mountain peaks are, just gonna put a little bit of glue. And then I'm gonna center it so it looks like half decent, because I can see the white behind it. And then just kind of hold your rosette in place, so all those little parts where there's glue get some contact. And once you start getting some of them to stick, you can kind of fuss with the rest of them. I might have to trim that out underneath, but I totally did not center this. Anyways, what you end up with is a cute little rosette that is now three-dimensional, and you can still, what did I do with my things? There. You can still add, well, maybe not that one, but that was the exact same color. You're not even going to see it there. But you can still add little things over the center of it, so you're not seeing the part where you just freehand cut in there, right? And you can put some little things, but now you have a raised up Where'd my other bag go? There it is. Right. Oh, not quite dry yet. So, ta-da! So lots of things you can do with this. So you can make short bags and long bags and big bags, and you can color it. And so there you go. You probably have enough time. What is it? The 28th. So if you were to order today is Wednesday. Sorry, I really had to think about that. It would likely ship by Friday. Things are on time right now, so it would likely ship by Friday, which means you would have it by the end of next week, generally, which would still give you. I'm gonna have to. Somebody at work once told me not to. If you look at your calendar before it actually happens, it's bad luck. But I just have to turn the page. So yeah, that would give you probably a whole week to craft with this stuff before you actually need to give it away for Valentine's Day. So there you go. Hopefully you have some Valentine's Day ideas, and I'll finish up the decorating and everything, and take some pictures and post them later. But yeah, these gusseted bags, like I said, honestly, even if you just wrote Happy Valentine's on them, filled them with treats and sent them in, these bags are awesome enough on their own, and you get 16 in the box. And then we have the doilies, and then we have all the bundle and everything that goes with it. So if you need help with product numbers or anything like that, just let me know. But yeah, lots of fun making Valentine's treats. All right, you guys have a great week. I'll be back here next Wednesday with Lord only knows what, and I'll have some pictures here. I got a few more days of the 25 days to an organized craft room, including the final tour. And tomorrow night is the craft and chat. I mentioned it in my newsletter. Let me know if you need a newsletter subscription link or a link to the Zoom for tomorrow night, where I'm going to give you like the whole lowdown on the Stampin' Positioner. 1, when you can get it, and 2, how it works and all the fun things you can do with it. And I'll also show my pre-order that I got for the stuff that is going live to customers in March. I don't actually know what day in March. Probably the February and March are usually the same. So probably March 3rd. All right.